Long ago, in the ancient kingdom of Valoria, the moon hung like a silent sentinel over the land, watching the lives of its people unfold beneath its pale, silvery gaze. In the heart of the kingdom, nestled between towering mountains and lush forests, lay the grand city of Erethion, ruled by a powerful king who believed that the heavens and earth must never intermingle. The king, Ronata, was wise and just but deeply superstitious. He believed that the moon and its guardians were sacred, to be worshipped but never touched. The royal family had long followed a strict law: no human was to fall in love with any of the celestial beings who watched from the sky, for such love would bring ruin. To ensure the balance between earth and sky, each generation offered prayers and sacrifices to the moon, vowing never to break the divide. But as with all things bound by fate, there came a time when this law was tested. In the king's court, there was a young nobleman named Elias, known throughout the land for his courage, strength, and unmatched beauty. Born into wealth, Elias had been groomed for greatness, trained in the art of war, diplomacy, and the ways of the kingdom. Though many noblemen sought his heart, Elias remained indifferent, for his own heart longed for something he could not name, a feeling that haunted him each night as he stood by his window, gazing at the moonlit sky. One night, as the full moon illuminated the palace gardens, Elias wandered through the cool, dewy grass, restless and troubled. As he approached the grand fountain in the center of the garden, he saw something unusual beneath the silver moonlight. The water shimmered, glowing with an otherworldly light. And there, by the fountain, was a figure unlike any he had ever seen. She was ethereal, her hair flowing like liquid silver, her skin glowing with the soft radiance of moonbeams. Her eyes, large and luminous, reflected the stars above, and her very presence made the night around her seem even more alive. Elias froze, his breath caught in his throat. He knew instantly what she was. One of the celestial beings, a guardian of the moon. Her name was Selene, and she had watched over Valoria for centuries, unseen by mortal eyes. Drawn by a force she could not explain, Selene had descended to the earth for the first time, compelled by a longing as deep as the sea. When her gaze met Elias's, time itself seemed to stand still. "You're," Elias began, his voice barely a whisper. "A guardian of the moon," she replied softly, her voice as smooth as the night wind. "I should not be here. But I have watched you from above, Elias, night after night. I have seen your heart, felt your longing, and I could not stay away." Elias's heart pounded in his chest, torn between fear and an overwhelming sense of destiny. He knew the law of the land, the warnings that had been passed down for generations. Love between a mortal and a celestial being was forbidden, a union that would upset the balance between heaven and earth. Yet, as he stood before Selene, he could not deny the bond that seemed to pull them together. "I have dreamed of you," Elias confessed, stepping closer to her. "I didn't know if you were real, but now that you're here, I cannot let you go." Selene looked at him with sorrow in her eyes. "If we love each other, Elias, we will bring ruin upon your world. The laws of the sky and earth are clear. To break them would be to invite disaster." But Elias was undeterred. "What is a law made by men compared to the will of our hearts? I don't care what the consequences are. I have waited my whole life for this, for you. I will not let fear keep us apart." Selene's heart ached, for she too had felt this connection across the vastness of the sky. She had watched Elias since his youth, drawn to his strength, his kindness, and his soul that seemed to sing to her in ways no other mortals ever had. She knew the risk, but the pull of love was stronger than the ancient laws. For weeks, Selene returned to the earth each night, and she and Elias would meet in secret in the moonlit gardens. Their love grew, deep and passionate, unspoken to all but the stars. They knew their time was limited, but in each other's arms, they felt invincible, as though the world around them ceased to exist. But the heavens, though silent, are always watching. One night, as they lay by the fountain, bathed in moonlight, Selene suddenly grew still. The air around them shifted, growing colder, and Elias felt an unnatural presence descend upon them. Looking up, they saw a figure emerge from the shadows, a towering figure cloaked in silver, his face obscured but his eyes glowing with the cold light of the moon. It was Orion, the chief guardian of the moon, sent by the Celestial Council to restore balance. His voice echoed like thunder through the night. Selene, Orion spoke, his voice filled with sorrow and disappointment. You have broken the sacred law. You have come too close to the mortal realm, and now the balance is in danger. Selene rose to her feet, trembling. Orion, please, I love him. We are meant to be together. Orion's gaze turned to Elias, his expression unreadable. You do not understand what you have done, mortal. Your love has set into motion forces that neither of you can control. The earth and sky are not meant to be joined in this way. Already, the stars whisper of imbalance. If you continue down this path, destruction will follow. Elias stepped forward, defiant. I will not abandon her. I will face whatever consequences come, but I will not let her go. Orion looked at them both, and for a moment, it seemed as though he would be moved by their plea. But then the moonlight grew even brighter, and a terrible sadness filled his eyes. There is only one way to restore the balance, Orion said. Selene must return to the sky, and you, Elias, must forget her. No. Selene cried, reaching for Elias's hand. Please, don't take this from us. Orion shook his head. It is not my choice, Selene. The forces that govern the universe are beyond even us. If you stay, the earth will suffer storms, floods, and famine. The very fabric of the world will begin to unravel. Tears filled Selene's eyes as she turned to Elias. I cannot stay, Elias. I cannot be the cause of such destruction. Elias's heart shattered, but he knew she spoke the truth. As much as he loved her, as much as his soul cried out to keep her by his side, he could not bear to see his world torn apart. Then take me with you, Elias said, his voice breaking. Let me go to the sky with you. I would rather leave this world than live without you. But Orion shook his head. Mortals cannot dwell in the sky. Your place is here, on the earth. You will live, and you will forget. Selene wept as she took Elias's face in her hands, her fingers cold and trembling. I will never forget you, she whispered. No matter how far apart we are, I will always remember. And with that, the sky opened, and a beam of silver light enveloped Selene. She was pulled upward, her form dissolving into the moonlight as she vanished from his sight. Elias fell to his knees, his heart breaking as he watched the love of his life disappear into the heavens. The next morning, Elias awoke in his bed, the memory of Selene fading like a dream. The garden, the moonlit nights, the love they had shared, all of it was slipping away, as though it had never been. But deep in his heart, a sorrow lingered, a hollow ache he could not explain, as though he had lost something precious but could no longer remember what. And so, the forbidden love of Selene and Elias became a whispered legend, forgotten by the world but etched forever in the stars, where the moon still watches over the earth, and where Selene, in her silent vigil, remembers a love that defied the laws of both heaven and earth. The end. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe for more.